If you asked my wife, she would say I'm terrible at it. But if you ask my team members, they would say I'm superhuman. So that tells you how good my wife is at what she does. But um, it's super critical. It's the only way you can do what I do is you have to be able to manage time, but with time comes priorities. So my wife will sometimes look at me and be like, "What are you doing just staring at the sky? Like you're just staring into space. Like I know you're not doing any work." And she may view it as procrastinating. I'm over here, just calculating stuff. I'm prioritizing the 99 things that need to get done tomorrow to deduce it down to the two or three things I actually will do. And the other things will have to wait. And I think this is one of the things that most people don't understand is that if you want to do more in an 8-hour block of time, you have to be not just fast at what you do, and especially if you care about quality, that quality and time don't really go well together, right? Speed and quality. Um, you actually have to be really good at prioritizing. And when you have everybody comes to work, says, okay, I have a lot to do. But nobody comes to work and says, I only have two or three things to do. And if you think about it that way, I think what happens is it brings a lot of clarity to your day. I know that there's a specific thing I need to achieve today, and that's all I have to achieve, which really eliminates all the pressure from these other 99 things that are looming behind me, vying for my attention. Now, that does not mean I won't listen. That does not mean I won't attend a meeting or whatnot. I will, but I know that the number one goal today is to finish that one or two or three things I've set out to do. And usually, most people that I know that are highly successful in my circles, they operate that way. They all have a million things to do, but they'll do one thing a day. And that one thing is usually very critical. And that's the thing that moves the needle. That's the thing that helps 50 other people move forward. Right. So it's all about not becoming a bottleneck. It's all about not drowning in tasks and rather focused on projects, which we'll talk about in a whole other video. And how do you move from being someone who just works on tasks to someone who works on projects to someone who works on programs to someone who works on a whole portfolio, right? And so having 12, 15 businesses in our portfolio, how do I decide which one to work on today? How do I decide which one gets my attention? How do I decide who I should talk to today? Because, they need an ear, right? They need a soundboard or whatnot. These are all things that you only learn through 20 years of doing this, but also through time management. And so, if there's any skill that I would say is the most important, it's time management, because that bleeds not only into your work life, but your personal life. So, the same thing that I would tell you to do for your work life, you have to be doing for your personal life. So, I have 3 kids now. I have a 4-month-old, a 3-year-old, and a 5-year-old. So I'm a busy person. And then, of course, a German wife. So I'm a very busy person who's expected to be on time, who's expected to have done A, B, and C. But I also know that, hey, there are some things I'm not going to be able to get to. All right. And so, in that regard, balancing work and life, you have to prioritize. And so, there are certain things that are non-negotiable to me, which is how much time I spend with my kids, which is when do I get off the computer, which is, putting my kids to sleep. That's my job. There is no, I don't want somebody else to do it. That's my job, and I'm not going to let somebody else do that, and I'll work around that. So, um, those who are motivated will figure this out and say to themselves, all right, here are my non-negotiables throughout the day. Therefore, everything that's in between is where I can go ahead and do my work or other social things or personal things that you like to do, whether it's a hobby or whatnot. That's when you're going to do it. See, I have some trips coming up. And those are trips with people I haven't seen for a while. And I know that's important. I should probably show my face to my peers, right? And so I'm already planning for those trips. I've blocked them out. I've planned on who's going to be taking care of those kids. I've planted the seed with my kids that, hey, these are the days you guys are in charge, you're self-responsible, and that daddy's not going to be there. And so When you're already planning that time, you're already prioritizing, this gets a lot easier. But what I find is most people are waiting till the last minute to do this type of stuff. Most people are allowing petty little things to build up on the more important things. And that's where you get stuck. So the idea here is if you really want work-life balance, it's not about, having more playtime or more work time. It's more about managing time. All right. And I think what I've seen is that for me, juggling more companies or more work or more clients, it's all the same. At a certain point, whether I have 10 clients or 100 clients, to me, it's the same amount of work because that's what I plan on doing. The way I plan on being able to handle them is by optimizing, by finding ways to get myself out of that situation, right? And that's how you grow. You can't do everything yourself. I've learned that the hard way, even though I want to. Right. I will have to sacrifice and compromise on certain things. I will maybe not be able to get the same level of quality from someone else. But if they can get me 80% of the way, that still saves a ton of my time for me to be able to focus on the priorities. And so time management is really the ultimate skill for any entrepreneur.